It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Who on earth is in charge of all this stuff? I mean, I was talking to somebody yesterday about this. Everybody knows what's going on, right? Everybody knows there's a scam, right? So these people arrive, they know that they're not going to leave, they know exactly how to claim asylum because they've been told how to do it. They pretend that they've got relatives living here so they can go and live with them, and then that's fine, and then they can apply for asylum, and even if they fail, they know they can still continue to live here. And everybody seems to know exactly what's going on, apart from the government and the Home Office. How do they not know?
But imagine the logistics behind mobilising 19 boats like they did on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, this is a substantial operation.
Of course it is.
That's being running out there. And it must be happening right under the noses.
Yeah.
Aside from the photograph that we've seen of French officials on the beach, there must be so many other members of the French kind of establishment bodies like police, law enforcement, all of that, being completely aware of what is going on.
Yeah.
Because it is an exiting army leaving their shores of 1,200 people
every single week
on 19 boats.
Right.
It's ludicrous
I know.
to think that they're not across there.
I know. It is incredible. In The Sun today, you've got a great headline, "Do blame it on the sunshine. Ministers chart to tie dinghy crossings to the weather." Basically, they say that, as the Home Secretary has said before, we have to get to a position where the level of crossings is not reliant on the weather. Well, how are they going to do that then?
Exactly.
You know, that means breaking the hold that these criminal gangs have established over this trade and breaking the link between crossings and the weather. How can you break the link between crossings and the weather without stopping the actual crossings?
Do me a favour, this has been going on for years.
Yeah.
Years. It's not a recent phenomenon. Why can they... Oh, the incompetence
It's
of
incredible,
these people.
isn't it?
Successive governments.
Yeah.
The absolute incompetence of them.
And the French are laughing at us, right? I mean, Nigel Farage has been saying this for a while. Benefits for illegal migrants were slammed again yesterday after a leading French MP said Britain was like El Dorado for channel crossers, right? I mean, boats continue to arrive over the weekend. The mega rate of dinghies up more than a third on last year. And meanwhile, Starmer just stands there and talks absolute and utter rubbish about what he says he's going to do.
Yeah. I mean, name me a country where you can rock up on a dinghy with no documents, no cash, no means of supporting yourself, and you will be fully fed, watered, clothed, housed and looked after. Name me another country
for the rest of
on
time.
this planet where you can do that.
There isn't one. And while there used to be an awful lot of people flooding over the border between Mexico and the United States of America, Trump has stopped all that. How has he stopped it? Because he started sending them back. And as soon as you start giving them a bit of, resistance, they stop coming.
In their droves, he sent them back.
It's
thousands.
It's not rocket science, is it?
No.
Becky says Putin's not stupid. He'll just send his troops over on the boats. Obviously. Does the idiot Stomer, says Barry in Spain, really believe that we don't know what he's up to? He's full of it. Frighten the people and you can get away with anything. But, you know, the cynical part of this is that, you know, you and I can laugh at it because we can. But there are probably older people who remember wars that we've had in the past who might be quite frightened by some of the things that these Labour stooges are coming out with, saying, oh, we better be ready for war. We're getting attacked by Russia every single day. You know, you hear those kind of sound bites, people get nervous.
Yeah, but I think if we point out the ludicrousness of it all, we're not only doing a favour to your audience, we're showing him up for the clown that he is.
He is a clown. He's absolutely that. Got a bit of breaking news. A high-profile member of Wakefield Council's cabinet has resigned, accusing the Labour Party of breaking promises with breathtaking ease. You know what his name is? Michael Graham. Sounds even weird for me to say that. He said this: promises have been made and broken with breathtaking ease, from the betrayal of waspy women who were left to shoulder an injustice that still remains unresolved, to the farmers and the fishermen who were assured their livelihoods would be protected but now face growing uncertainty and neglect. Very true. I mean, this Labour government has been about as bad a government as I can remember in my lifetime.
So quickly.
And we've still got another month before they've been in a year.
Yeah.
It's quite incredible, isn't it?
That'll be an interesting day when the media, the papers and everybody acknowledges a year in power.
Yes.
And looks back over that year.
Because there's nothing good, is there? There is literally nothing good that you can remember over the course of the last year that has worked. We got another story this morning from Rachel Reeves talking about the state of the hospitality business, and we're going to be talking to Sasha Lord up in Manchester in a little while about that later on. Basically, you've got a third of pubs and restaurants are facing, closure because of the cost of running the business, right? This is according to Guido, a piece that got put out yesterday. The British Institute of Innkeeping and Hospitality has put out an 11% increase on the last quarter thanks to the implementation of Reeves's awful April tax hikes. Means that a third of businesses are now operating at a loss and are on the brink of failure, because 6 in 10 pubs, restaurants and hotels have already slashed jobs, nearly 2/3 have cut staff hours, over half have scrapped investment plans, and a staggering 76% have put prices up just to keep the lights on. Well done, Rachel. I mean, let's give her a round of applause. What a great job you're doing as Chancellor of the Exchequer, ruining business, completely and utterly slashing and burning a great hospitality sector, which is one of the biggest and best of what Britain does.
You and I are no strangers to a pub or
Indeed.
a restaurant. The hospitality industry, for me, is one of life's great joys.
Yeah.
Going to the pub and
It
having a
employs a
pint.
lot of people as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And creates so many opportunities for people to have their first taste of work.
Yeah.
Young people to
Exactly
come into a bar job or a waitressing job or something like that. And it really is, if you're fortunate enough to have a few quid left at the end of the week, to be able to treat yourself, to go into the pub or going for a bite to eat, I think is so quintessentially who we are, what we are as a nation.
And to meet your mates and to chat over whatever is going on that day.
And have a laugh.
Yeah. Something that this government clearly is incapable of doing.
Yeah. Have they made it illegal yet?
No, but they would probably make it illegal if they could. I mean, they do that ridiculous kind of Richter's grin thing when they're trying to say they've got good, you know, and she's the first woman chancellor, and, we're building a theme park in Luton, and all this. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're killing the businesses of this country. They're literally killing them.
The national insurance hike and the minimum wage hike were a double whammy to hospitality that clearly they are really struggling with.
Yeah, of course.
And we've lost so many boozers in recent years.
Yeah.
All right,
They're closing at a rate of knots, aren't they?
Yeah, hugely.
Yeah.
And it's eroding so much of what is the fabric of British culture.
Yeah.
Now, I understand a lot of the youngsters now perhaps don't drink like we drank when we were youngsters. So that's having an impact. We also have a changing demographic. In 1951, there were 26,000 Muslims in the UK. Now, there are millions of them, and they don't drink. So that will affect pubs in areas where there are heavily populated Muslims gathered together. And so it goes with taxation and such like. Pubs, restaurants are struggling. They need help. They don't need to bear the brunt of Rachel Reeves's tax hikes.
Right. None of which is working for her, because they're now saying, as I said before, they're going to have to raise taxes on front page of the Times in order to put Britain on a war footing. So we come back to that again. So we're not paying enough taxes for us to be on a war footing. So this is why I believe that this is what it's all about. Let's just put more taxes on the people, and we can't think of any other way to do it.
Will I get tax relief as a fully signed up member of the Home Guard?
You might do. But you might get a few expenses for your, uniform, maybe a bit of subsistence, perhaps, 25p a day or something like that, the odd cheese sandwich. They're not very generous, with
I'm willing to feed and walk to myself, really, when I'm standing on guard.
Have you got a tin hat?
When I'm on duty. No, I will need a tin hat.
Yeah.
I've got a tin foil one.
Have you got a tin foil hat? That'll work just as well. Margaret in Birmingham says, "Morning, Mike and Peter. The working people standing behind Starmer looked so bored. The man in the orange hat's expression was priceless. I bet all their grandparents had their winter fuel taken away, yet had to back him up, fingers in the ears time." I mean, this is the trouble. There is no group of people in this country that doesn't hate Keir Starmer and the government. And that now includes all the people in the public sector who they've already given a pay rise to, who now want another pay rise, and they're being told, no, you can't have one, we haven't got any money.
Doctor, they're coming back for another huge lump, aren't they?
Yeah, and they don't want you to call them junior doctors anymore. They want you to call them resident doctors now.
Resident doctors.
Yeah, I'm going to keep calling them junior doctors, just because I know they don't like it. Let's get a voice note from Sue.
Morning, Mike. Sue here from Farnham. He won the election based on lies, and no one had anywhere to go, and he is the most insincere wooden tool I have ever seen.
I mean, when somebody like Sue is driven to make that statement and actually record it and send it to us, that tells you the depth of feeling in this country. Sue's obviously a lovely woman, is calling the Prime Minister of this great nation a tool. He is. She's not wrong.
I have no hesitation in describing Sue as the salt of the earth. That's what she sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And as you point out, motivated at just after 6:30 in the morning to get on the blower and express her discontent and contempt for the man that is running this country.
Yeah, it's
allegedly.
extraordinary, isn't it? Tony says this: since 2018, 150,000 illegal migrants, young men mostly, have invaded the UK, an army double the size of the British Army. Fact.
Yeah.
Very good point. It's true. Absolutely right. It's a shocking state of affairs. When is somebody going to grab this thing by the neck and sort it out?
I mean, I hadn't thought about it before, but I've done it off the cuff. I seriously think send them straight off to Salisbury Plain into a huge, great army encampment.
Right.
Regimental sergeant majors and other officers knocking them all into shape.
Right.
Okay, you've come here, right? You want to come here? Yeah. You've got to do 7 years in the military. For this country, swear an oath of allegiance.
Never mind the barracks.
And you better mean it, or else you'll get rumbled and you'll get flown straight out of this country. Earn your keep.
And if you can't do that, we'll put you in a military prison.
Yeah.
How about that?
There you go.
You can build one of those on Salisbury Plain, all right? There's plenty of room there. I used to live right on the edge of it. I'm just keeping an eye out, by the way, while we're talking, in case there's anything flying through the air.
I can see the Thames from my seat here.
Oh, good. It's HMS Belfast firing itself up.
I don't know why they're loading those guns. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway,
listen, luckily we're on a wharf, so you don't have to worry.